what a world, DJ on the mic. What coming in with some fresh news right here, because it is 3:30 in the morning over in the UK, and we finally got a restriction list update, and there's been some nice good hits here. I'm not gonna lie, some kind of wild strays, but in this video I'm gonna go over my initial reactions to this restriction list, which is gonna be in effect from March 28th. So if this is the video for you, then stick around and enjoy. And if you're new to the channel, like what you see, make sure you subscribe and turn the notification bell, because I do videos on the reg. So the restriction list finally dropped. I've watched the full presentation, and I must admit, absolutely fire the next couple of months. But this is definitely the thing that we've all been waiting for, is what cards are going to be hit. And as we can see, straight off the bat is going to be the mat, which is obviously quite key in purple. That's straight up banned, which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting to be either like put to 1, but to be straight banned is crazy. Bandai was like, now I'm gonna rip that band-aid right off and absolutely just ban a card. This card does facilitate a lot of shenanigans when it comes to purple, especially just grabbing a purple option of their choice in trash is just really huge. And the fact that there's easy ways to get this tamer out, especially in purple hybrid, I understand the hit right there. So great hit, personally. I think it's definitely needed in order for the health of the game, and especially to kind of widen up the kind of purple identity that I try to do, because I feel like this just gave it a little bit too advantage, because obviously we've got Jet Raid, which is also restricted to 1, which realistically Matt could still just get out. So yeah, I respect the hit. Going on with a new paired restriction is going to be the Mother Shoto combo. I am so glad they acknowledged this. Like, this shit shouldn't have happened in the first place. This was definitely something that they didn't think was going to happen. It did happen, and I'm happy that they've finally solved it, because this ain't it. The thing that I was actually kind of hoping for in this overall kind of list is maybe the Galaxy Toolbox being hit in some way, but looks like Bandai is just like, nah, it seems to be fine as it is, which obviously we've seen the recent worlds, and you know it won using the Galaxy Toolbox method. So it is quite crazy how that kind of, you know, that whole strategy was unscathed out of this, but hey ho, what Bandai must be thinking is a-okay. So then we're going over to now the cards that are restricted to 1. First off is going to be Blinding Ray. So Blinding Ray, I saw this coming. Like, I think it's definitely a deserved hit. As much as I do love Blinding Ray, I love using it in my Magnamon deck and so forth, it's definitely a hit that was kind of needed. So Magnamon now has got even more room in its arsenal to put in some additional cards in. Lucky enough, we do have Promo Flamedramon, which effectively helps kind of reactivate Magnamon's effect to gain that immunity. So he's definitely putting in a lot more work now, because like I say, getting that immunity back without Blinding Ray is actually quite difficult. So yeah, I see the hit. And also as well, we do have cards such as like Alphamon or Aruken mode, which could effectively use Blinding Ray, securities being trash, and you gain 3 memory off the Alphamon, and you also then get 2 memory off of the Blinding Ray, equaling 5. So it's definitely a lot of memory manipulation that you can do with this card. And once again, the more cards that Bandai decides to print in that kind of nature, the more that this card can get exploited. So I kind of saw the hit coming, if in all honesty. Going into Jet Raid, I think everyone wanted this card to be hit. It just, if Hammer Spark's been hit, this ought to be hit as well. And I think definitely a good call on this. It means that Purple Hybrid just can't just go like, yeah, just slam down 3 Jet Raids and go to freaking 9 memory out of nowhere. It's once again that memory manipulation, which is pretty much free. Granted, you do have to build it up, so it's not just like, oh yeah, you know, Hammer Spark, whack it down and gain a memory. You do have to build it up, but it's pretty easy in a purple based strategy to build your trash in order to get the maximum worth of this card. Mirage, we all knew Mirage was gonna get hit. Let's just you know, put it on the table there. It's good that it's just being restricted to 1, So, you know, Mirage players can still enjoy Mirage until they obviously print out a more of a fairer card. I'm not gonna lie there, if I get luck sacked by one of these, it'd be more infuriating than than being expected to kind of just, you know, walk into this boy because the players having 4 off. Now just having that 1 off and being sacked by this card is gonna sting for real. But regardless, definitely a good hit. I'm glad it's not got fully banned, but I think restricted to 1's definitely the way. So, Feralugomon, this right here is very interesting in regards to the hits. A lot of people wanted the deck to be hit in some way. I don't know if everyone predicted this card to be hit. Everyone was kind of predicting like the egg or the level 5. But yeah, they hit the Feralugomon, which effectively, you know, enables them to manipulate that kind of that memory to make sure that, you know, basically they have to pass over a 3 or just pass turn, which once again, a good hit. I think the deck's not dead by any means, but it just means that they just kind of gotta think of another Feralugomon, which we do have another Feralugomon that can obviously facilitate the game plan and so forth. So yeah, it'd be quite interesting to see how the deck actually shapes up now without this core piece. The Kazuha Mon, yeah, obviously Talmon loop. I think I'm not very familiar with the overall strat. I'm not too sure how key this card is. I presume it is quite key in order to effectively play from sources and then obviously do another Talmon and so forth. So yeah, having this at 1 definitely makes complete sense there. Then we go over to the hybrid. So obviously the promo Aguni is quite a big hit towards red hybrid, especially the Asian Grey combo. Having this at 1, yeah, massively slows the deck down right there, but it opens up a lot more design space for future support with hybrids, because hybrids will be churning out tons of cards, which ultimately, like any form of like Asian Grey list, you got to be running this. You would ultimately, doesn't matter what support they bring in, this just literally is the card that you want to run just because it's so good. The fact that now it is restricted to 1, once again, just widens up that kind of design space for Bandai to kind of cook a little bit better. Same kind of principle with the Lobomon as well. I don't think it was massively heavily used per se, but once again, they must have thought, well, actually, does it limit the game design for any future Lobomon cards? Is this always going to take primary slot and then the others will just never kind of beat this card? That's my only thinking with that, because this wasn't necessarily, Blue Hybrid wasn't really doing much after the initial hits that they did, but that must be their logic behind that. Then Stingmon, this I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this definitely caught a straight bullet. I don't know if this was the correct hit for Imp, in all honesty, but I don't want Imp to just like, I don't want it just to die for the sake of it, that it's just an annoying matchup. It can be annoying in terms of what its game plan is doing, but by design, Bandai is what Bandai wants it to be, in a sense. Like, they do gain a lot of tempo once they get the tamer set up, but if we have more archetypes that kind of deal with tamers, then it's okay. I think at the moment we don't have many decks that can deal with tamers unless you're like, you know, specialize in a specific rogue deck, let's just say. But I feel like now we have got a lot more options to kind of get rid of tamers, which is good. So it means that like Imp can't go too wild, and you know, that's been clearly demonstrated in the worlds that we just witnessed. Just deleting those tamers as standard, and you know, once again controlling that board state, doing enough to slow them down. But the Stingmon, I mean, was it like a key, like a linchpin of the deck? Like, I felt like not many lists did run it. Correct me if I'm wrong. But overall, I think very solid hits. Like, I feel like I kind of saw majority of them come in. I think the map definitely a good hit to ban it outright. I think it's just a very, very strong card. The pair ban, that's definitely amazing hit. I wish we saw a lot more pair ban stuff. In all honesty, I feel like this, yeah, was a good one, but there's other stuff that probably should be on there, but hopefully further on down the line there'll be more frequent bannings or pairings and restrictions, whatever, as the game grows, and especially since we're going to be kind of unified. Blinding Rain, Jack Raid, yep, that makes complete sense. Just really overtuned for zero memory. Mirage, you understood on that one. Don't need to elaborate any further. The Feruga, I'd be very interested to see how people cook with that. Really be interested to see what lists are going to come from this hit. And yeah, obviously we want to stop the Taiwan loop, and obviously the banning, well, restricting that card is definitely a good way of doing so. But funnily enough, we saw Sakuyamon actually put in work without any Talmon action, Talmon loop shenanigans, let's just say. So, I mean, I think people are sleeping on their old Sakuyamon because it is putting in work, it is fast when it sets up. But guys, that was my initial take on this. Drop a comment in the box of what you feel about this new restriction list / update. Drop it in the comments, let's discuss and talk about it. But guys, I'm gonna go to bed because I'm freaking tired. But before you do, make sure you smash your like a standard. Stay safe and stay fly. And I'll catch you next one. D-Dread off the mic.